Renee and Larissa, and we're here. We're excited. I'm always excited, so it's easy to do this. I picked all these herbs today from the garden, and what we're going to do tonight is show you how to preserve and store them for the winter. I always just cut them from the garden, tie them up with twine and hang them, and just leave them in the kitchen, and then I use them throughout the winter. Larissa's here, and she's going to talk to you about like a little more advanced.
Oh, I don't know about advanced.
It's going to help us for the winter. So.
You can do this at home too. I'm just going to show you how blanching some of these herbs that you cut from the garden can help preserve their flavor, give them a vibrant color so that how you use them in the kitchen would be preserved. So we're going to blanch some herbs. We're going to show you how to do that. We're going to show you how to cool them off, and we're going to show you how to infuse them into oil or also make an herb butter that you can use all year long.
Yum. Thank you.
One of the things that I want to help you do is make herbed butter that you can drop on a gorgeous steak through the winter, or possibly have an herbed oil. Before we do that, we can't just grab those herbs from the garden and shove them into some oil and expect that they're going to look their best. So what we want to do is we want to blanch them. We've got some boiling water here. We've got some ice cold water here. For a delicate herb like chives, you're going to drop them into the boiling water for 15 to 20 seconds, and then you're going to plunge them into ice cold water. What does that do? That brings out the bright green color that you see when you see Renee in the garden, and you see that bright green color. You want to see that year round. The only way to accomplish that is by blanching them. You do this with all kinds of things in culinary. You do it with green beans. You do it with all of the same vegetables. This is rosemary. When you see me next, I'm going to plunge these in here. We're going to give them about 30 seconds, pull them out, stick them in the ice water, and you'll see how green they get.
Super. Thank you. Okay, hey, all right, here we go. So the way that I normally take care of my herbs over the winter, I head out to the garden before we get the first severe frost, and I harvest as much as I possibly can. So I have parsley here, I have oregano, I have rosemary, we have tons of stuff. But for my herb bundles, I'm basically just gonna take the rosemary and the oregano and the parsley. This will be great for any kind of like, you know, sauces that I want to make. And all I'm gonna do is cut twine. It's like down and dirty for me, quick and easy. That's why I brought Larissa in, because I really want her to show us some advanced moves. But for me, tie it up, hang it up, and there you go. This will dry in my kitchen, and then I'll have fresh herbs, well, dried herbs to use. Another option is you can cut your herbs and you can throw them on a cookie sheet, like a cooling rack. So there you go. Thanks.
Did I promise that blanching these herbs would make them vibrant and green? Boy, did they ever. Look at this rosemary, these chives, and this amazing thyme. So I've done a complete about face. I want to put all of this into a delicious herbed butter. So right now I'm removing all of the little leaves from the thyme. I'm going to chop up some of this rosemary, and I'm going to blend it into some room temperature softened butter and roll it into a log to make this herb butter. It's going to have this vibrant green herbs all infused into it. I'm going to chop that up, mush it up, have a lot of fun with it, roll it into a log, throw it in my freezer, and it'll be slice ready when I have a gorgeous steak or anything that I want to put herb butter on.
Lobster.
Lobster, vegetables, whatever it is. You can have all of that. In the meantime, what I've also got is I've got some beautiful oregano that Renee provided, and I've got it in some olive oil at a low temperature. I'm going to let that kind of simmer and infuse those flavors for a little bit, and then when it's cooled, we're going to put it into these beautiful glass jars that I got from Usual Wines. Enjoying the champagne that came in them right now. Yep,
that would be called upcycling, recycling, repurposing, reusing.
And also enjoying it at the same time. Whatever makes you feel good. We're going to be using that in just a few minutes. We'll make sure that you get to see the end result.
Hey, it's Renee. Okay, so here's my favorite way to use herbs from the garden, and that would be to make simple syrups. And simple syrups can be used for cocktails, mocktails, tea. You can make marinades, you can do salad dressing. The thing I love about simple syrups is they are just that, okay? Simple. 1 part water into a pan. We're not gonna crank the heat, we're not looking to boil anything, we're really just looking to simmer things down, think tea. 1 part sweetener, sugar in this case. You can use agave, you can use honey, which is actually one of my favorites. honey does better with the darker cocktail mixes, like a bourbon. So tonight what I've done is, because we started to get freezing temperatures, I've harvested all my herbs. This is fennel. Fennel is like black licorice. A lot of people are afraid of that, and I just say don't be afraid. So 1 part sugar, 1 part water, and what I've done is I've used a cup of each, so I'm pretty much gonna use a cup of fennel too. Sometimes I go heavier on the herbs just because I like the flavor. And all you do is simmer that down, so it's a cup of sugar, a cup of water, and a cup of fennel. Dump it in there, stir it around, let it simmer. And what I'll do is I will not allow it to boil. I'm just gonna steep it like tea, like I said, and I'm gonna do this for about 20-30 minutes. After this simmers down, I'm gonna strain it, and then I'm gonna store it in a glass jar. It can go in the fridge for about a week. If you wanna have it last longer, you can add a tablespoon of vodka. So what I'll be doing is getting creative with my fennel simple syrup and making a cocktail. And you'll have to stay tuned and follow up for that later. Thanks.
This is what you call B-roll, but this is like how we do it. She's over here slicing and dicing all the herbs, and I'm like, girl, like, get this shit on camera. People are gonna take the rosemary and the thyme that they blanched and throw it into the butter.
Chop it up
No.
first, love.
What
Chop it
has
up
to
first.
happen is
Chop it up first. Throw it in there. Gorgeous and green. I told you. Because Renee's gonna go grab some mint from the garden because we're not done yet. We're gonna make some mint ice cubes. In the meantime, I'm making the herb butter. This is where it gets real, people. Wash your hands. We are going to roll the softened butter that we just made with all of those delicious little green herbs up into a little bit of saran wrap. You can make this shape whatever it is that you want. I happen to be making a log. I'm gonna make a little herb butter log here. Check this out. Twist both ends. Bada bing, bada boom. See that sweet thing? You're gonna put that in the freezer all winter long. You can enjoy this on top of juicy steak, delicious grilled vegetables, whatever you want. You made that.
All right, ready? Here we go. So I just went out to the garden, I picked mint, and then I blanched it like Larissa just showed us, and we're blanching so that it's green and not black and mucky. I was up at Oriole Landing the other day, and one of the attendees of a Garden to Glass event that I was doing was like, well, how do you get it so that it doesn't turn black and mucky? Well, now we know, you blanch it. So anyway, I blanched the mint and the fennel, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop it up. And then, I don't know if you can see these, but these are little flower-shaped ice cubes. How adorable is that? And all we're gonna do is chop it up and then drop it in the cubes and then freeze it, and then we have ice cubes. And these are gonna be great because it's mint and fennel. So this application I think will be perfect for ice water. So there you go. Keep growing. Thank you. All I'm gonna do with the herbs and water that I put in these adorable little ice containers is stick them in the freezer, and then we're gonna have them for water. Mint and fennel ice cubes. Here's our simple syrup that's totally been simmering for like a half an hour. And all I'm gonna do is strain it into a glass jar. And again, this can stay in the fridge for like a week, or you can drop some vodka in it and it can last longer. We're not gonna need it to last longer, we're gonna use it. The next time you see at JAEYN Food and Drink and Gardens by Renee collaborating, it's gonna be on an awesome Garden to Glass cocktail. So thank you and keep growing.
I have just spent the most wonderful evening with my friend and co-collaborator from Gardens by Renee, and we have made herb butter, we have made infused olive oil, we have repurposed this gorgeous bottle from Usual Wines, and we're sitting here enjoying ourselves, understanding that you can blanch herbs, bring out the vibrant color in them, and use them in a whole myriad of ways. We hope that you will keep growing, grow those herbs, save them, preserve them, eat them, and enjoy them. Thanks so much for growing with us.
Okay, so I really just wanted to say thank you for watching. I want to say thank you to Larissa from JAEYN Food and Drink. And the other thing I want to say is that we're having fun and we're silly and we're laughing and having a good time. We're learning, we're growing, we're sharing, we're doing everything we can. But what's really important to me is that we're actually using the food that we grow. The food waste that I'm finding in our society is painful. So you're gonna grow it, use it. We just showed you 5 creative fun and super delicious ways to use your food. So let's stop with the food waste and grow what you eat, but more importantly, what you grow.
Do it with your family, do it with your friends.
Yeah, keep growing.